happened upon a vampire who gave her a note that was said to be from the Countess, maybe. So she gives the letter to Trig. We're all half asleep, and we're not thinking so clearly. Trig keeps going back and forth, and he wants all of us, like, we're catching up with Jayla, seeing how she has been the past 2 years, what happened with us the past 2 years, and while this is happening, Trig is just buying his time on to make a decision. He hasn't made a decision, so all of us go back to bed. Sarah and Willow were the only ones who, no, Jayla and Willow were the only ones who spoke up, saying that they would be willing to help Trig with his little journey to go see the Countess, even though it meant going into a den of vampires. But he's part of the party, so might as well go. We all went back to bed, waiting for him to decide, we told him to wake us up when he decided. He ended up sneaking out, not telling us, and going to basically talk with the Countess. And he went in. It's this beautiful hotel. From what I'm thinking from the aesthetics, like 1920s aesthetic hotel. Beautiful. And he is then sent to the bar upstairs where the Countess is waiting for him. This is the part where I actually don't remember what him and the Countess spoke about.
That's okay.
Basically, from what I'm remembering is that
I think she asked him to kill somebody for her.
Yeah, I can fill in if you want. I remember this part.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So Trig gets there, and he is ushered in, kind of, and he's told to go see the bellhop. And he hands over his invitation, and there's like other people around, and the bellhop's like, "Oh, you're waiting for the Countess. There is B positive up in the lounge on the 2nd floor. She'll be with you shortly." So he goes up there, strikes up a conversation with the bartender, I guess is what you'd call him. And because he orders the B positive, the bartender's like, "Oh, you're waiting for her." And he barely had enough time to like sit down and drink it before she arrived at the bar. And it was very what's the correct word? Very strategic, what they both said. And eventually she invited him back to like the VIP lounge, and there is this witch under some sort of charm, we're guessing charm person or something like that, laid out on the table. Turns out that is Paris that we met earlier, so enter Jayla and Paris now. And she offers him a drink, he declines, she partakes, and then basically says that she can take care of him, basically be his new Lucifer, teach him how to be like a proper vampire if she works for him, but in not so many words, it's alluded to. And then is like, a courier will be in touch and you will have your target, kind of thing.
Trig makes it back to our little house after agreeing to this, and he sleeps in his closet. Morning rolls over shortly, and everyone's slowly waking up. Willa bounces awake. She's full of energy from having somewhat of a restful sleep, and she goes to the market quickly, grabbing eggs and flour for Tiana, for them to help her later, and a little breakfast for themselves. She comes back, and she starts making the eggs and sausage, and she asks Sarah to make the biscuits because she's not much of a baker herself, even though her mother is. And they turn out hard on the outside, but squishy, almost doughy on the inside. Perfect biscuits. Perfect. From then, we decide that it is the best time to start our journey to the bayou. Hemlock is going off to do more research, so he said that we'll see him later. We stop by Tiana's, drop off the flour and eggs real quickly, and tell her we'd be back later. Sadly, we did not make it. And we start to head into the bayou. When we are going on this trail, we see an off path going to a little lodge just through the trees, and we decide to go there to ask around, seeing if there is a little town or any place near the bayou that they could go to. They meet Curtis, I think his name was, real dickbag, chauvinist pig of a werewolf. We ask, we want to trade for this night route, and, obviously he right out tells them that they're the werewolves, we found them, and to go into the hunting lodge. We end up talking them into letting us go in, where we meet the alpha and all of the other wolves. and things get a little hasty, asking if we could trade. He says it's not up for trade, and then Tara goes in to say, hey, I'm trying to get rid of Nyx, and the only way I can get rid of Nyx is if we, get this green root, or the Green Knight root, in order to get an amulet to stop Nyx. And I know she's a big problem for you out in the bayou. And Sarah even tries to bargain, like, I can make sure you have a great harvest this coming season, and doesn't really do much. So we were asked to leave after our begs and pleas went to, let's see, he wasn't really listening much. He was a little bit of an asshole alpha. So we end up leaving, and then behind us, as we walk away, there's this werewolf, young werewolf that comes up, and he asks, say, hey, I could possibly help you, but if you help me first. We make a deal with him. His name is Cal, and he is the gardener for the pack. He goes and tells us that he hasn't seen his brother, and his brother is always in trouble. He's a big troublemaker for the pack and his own vices. So we go and we said, sure. And he's like, I haven't smelled him around the bayou, anywhere near. He must be in the city. So we agree to help Cal in order to get our night root, which he has all of it because he's the gardener. So we go to the city and we figure out that he has to be somewhere, and we actually end up running into Jupiter, who we think, because Cal can't smell his brother, can't hunt him down, that there must be some sort of ward on him. So she helps us out, and she's like, do you have anything of his? And he's like, yes, I do. Here's this. And she sprinkles some salts on it, and the ward dissipates. From there, Cal is able to smell his brother and track him down. When we finally end up where he is actually in this grand manor called the Persephone. Now, the Persephone is a club for the supernatural, and it is very well guarded with silver weapons and huge guards, and we're trying to figure out a way to get in, to figure out where his brother could be in there. This club is for high society supernaturals. There's no way we could get in without these rings that everybody was wearing. We happen upon the Countess, and she notices Trig outside the gate, so she walks up, and we tell her the situation, and she is willing to help us out. She gives us a ring for each of us, except for Jupiter. She just didn't have enough, and we were able to to go in. And of course, she helps us out with the attire, because it's black tie, and we're able to go in. Once we get in there, we feel a little out of place, just because it's this grand, high status place. We sit down, a butler talks to us about, like, what are the events. He get us some caviar and other horse divorces, and some wine and stuff like that. And while we're sitting there, Sarah's mom actually is there visiting. Sarah was able to hide from her, but we're not sure if she saw Sarah or not. We asked the butler if, what other events are going on, wink, wink, and he tells us, well, there's a special event going on downstairs, and it's just through that way. At that point, we go through, and we go downstairs, and we see this horrific sight of the underground supernatural bar fight, or not, cage fighting. It's horrible. We enter, all these supernaturals are cheering, betting, yelling. It's horrible watching these two supernaturals fight to the death, basically. We start looking around, and then Cal sees his brother Calvin, right? Calvin?
Mm-hmm. Calvin and Callus, yep.
What is Cal's actual name?
Callus.
Callus, okay, thank you. So Cal runs over to Calvin, and Calvin looks sick to his stomach. He looks nervous. He's sweating, and we find out that he owes Countess big. And in order to get out of his debt, he promised the Countess to fight in her cage fighting, as long as, he fights in the cage fighting, and his debts would be wiped. But Calvin is this little thing of a werewolf. He would not stand up against his opponent. So Cal makes the decision to fight instead of Calvin, and other ones like, no. Willis speaks up, and she's just like, okay, if you have your mind set on this, make sure you kick his ass. So the fight starts between Cal and this Minotaur. It's going back and forth. Cal is actually winning, but then all of a sudden, we notice something's wrong, and it looks to be like Cal can't see. There's a fog in front of his eyes. He senses there's something wrong, and the Minotaur takes over on the winning side of the fight. Will is able to spot off in the crowd of a man standing with a prism, and standing with his prism held high. She thinks that's odd. It's not something you see at this kind of ruckus, at this kind of event. Not like she would know, but it's odd. So she runs over and she's like, "Who are you? And why are you cheating?" And he's like, basically, I forget what he says. "Who do you think you are? Do you know what you're doing?" Willa punches him square in the face. He drops the prism. She picks it up. She looks at it. She looks back at Cal. She tries to figure out what could this device be. She knows that there's no time. Cal has no time for us to figure it out. So she throws it on the ground. It smashes into a million pieces. And when she notices Cal is doing better, that he has picked up in the fight, she looks back to see who the cheater was, and he was gone. As well as making her way back, Cal wins the fight. He is pretty wounded from the Minotaur, just because of him losing his eyesight for that time. So the fight ends. Cal goes back to Calvin. You're like, "How could you? You're stupid little brother. Blah 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 blah. Let's get out of here." So we end up leaving, pretty rushed, and we make our way back to the bayou. They have a brotherly talk. And basically Calvin is like, "I'm gonna go rest up. Thanks, bro. I'm gonna sleep it off." Cal promises us that night route. But as soon as Cal says that, he kind of like, I don't know if he falls against the couch, he does something. And you can see he's bleeding through his shirt. So everyone decides to go out back and get the night route. And Willa decides to go up alone to Cal's bedroom to patch him up. And they have a lovely little flirtatious moment, staring at each other, and Willa's carefully bandaging him up, cleaning him up. They talk a little bit. She finds out a little bit of information about him and his family and etc. They have this little tense moment, and then the door slams, and everyone comes back in from there, and Willa leaves the room blushing mad. We have just a little talk, thinking, saying our little goodbyes, but then all of a sudden the pack rushes in to the room, and he calls Cal a traitor, figures out what happened, and Tara quickly hides the night route from the Alpha. We are escorted out of the cabin to this little bonfire thing with the Alpha sitting in this, I'm guessing like a log pile throne kind of deal. And Cal is brought forth in front of him and basically saying, "You endangered the pack. You did something without our permission. You're supposed to follow orders. You betrayed the pack." And then Willa speaks up. She steps forward and tells him that, there was no time to come back to ask permission to save a member of your pack, your family, your blood. And she's able to talk the Alpha down into not killing Cal. But since the Alpha decided not to kill Cal, they exiled him. So, of course, Cal is sad losing his pack, and we feel bad too because, yes, we did help him, but we didn't know it would end up him being exiled. We slowly walk back to his cabin so Cal can grab all of his things, and he looks back and he's just like, "I don't know where to go." Tara offers him a place in our little traveling group, and Willa apologizes for getting him exiled. Because she knows, she could just assume that how much it hurt to be ripped away from that. So we decide to go back into the city to Dr. Facilier's, and we decide before arriving there to split up the party. Tara and Sarah would go and just drop off the night route, complete the deal, and Sarah to watch Tara, make sure she didn't make any more deals. And everybody else go back and to our little hideaway and start getting dressed for the ball, and we would catch up with Tara and Sarah later, bring their dresses, and we would all go to the party together.
That was probably the most excellent recap I've ever heard.
Great job, sis. I'm so glad you did that.
That was extremely detailed and absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
Very well done. And also, might I say, Keithree is very proud of Will punching a guy in the face.
Yes.
Brava, my dear, brava.
Good job. And Allie too for filling in the blanks. So good job. A+. Okay. So with that being said, I have a little bit of a narrative to bring us into the world, and then we can begin. Okay. You brought Anastasia and Drizella back. Why can't you bring him back? Her voice was hoarse, and her clothing was dirty with caked-on mud, and her blonde hair looked like it could use a good comb through. "My debts are paid to you, witch bitches. I don't owe you a damn thing," the tiefling responded. Her dreads were pulled back as she slipped a knife into a mushroom and added it to her cauldron. "But Nyx, think of what he could do as king. He could help you for your cause." Nyx wiped the sweat off of her brow. "I'm not going to say this again, Miss Ella. I'm not bringing him back. Not now. Not later. I don't care if he's been preserved by the goddess herself. You'll have to find someone else who can do it for you. Have you tried that charlatan in the city? I heard he's got a pretty nice deal if you pay him well." The Shadow Man?" Ella asked. "The very one." And Nyx went back to stirring her pot. "But he's deviant. I can't trust him." "Well, you trusted moi, didn't you?" "Well, it was a different circumstance. You owed Lady Tremaine." There was nothing but silence and the sounds of the bayou that filled. "When you find him, and I know you will, tell him I sent you." Get a kick out of old Facilier. "Merci, Nyx," Ella said, starting to walk back from her hovel and hop on her horse. "I hope I never see you in my bayou again." The end. Yay. Okay. So with that being said, we have Sarah and Tara heading to Dr. Facilier's as the party splits. So let's do this really quick. Okay, so you head back to what you remember of the direction of Facilier's little emporium, and you head down the alley, and you come across this door where there is a sign, big painted on there, that says "Out on Business." What do you do?
Out on business? Well, that's not very fair if he gave us a time limit.
I'm assuming that Ashley, you're probably not able to.
I'm getting set up real fast, alright?
You're fine
It's
now.
okay. Take your time.
Sarah's gonna be like, well, should we wait there? Do you think he went to the party?
Do you think he would go to the party? He doesn't really seem like the dancing a ball type.
Oh. Well, I think he does kind of seem... I don't know, actually. I wonder if he went to the other side that he would keep talking about.
Oh, maybe. Well, do you think he'll be gone for long?
She crosses her arms and humps a little bit. She's like, well, I hope not, because we have a party to go to.
Well, I guess we have 2 more days still, right? So maybe tomorrow he won't be out on business. Maybe we should just come back in the morning?
Or tonight, later, like after the party, like dip out.
Yeah, that could work. Okay, well, I guess we'll just go meet back up with the group.
Yeah, I guess so.
Do you want to head there, or they were going back to the house to change, right?
True. We might catch up with them. They said they were gonna grab our outfits. But, I mean, if we briskly walk, we might be able to make it.
Okay. Yeah, so let's try to catch up with them. We'll come back here after the ball.
Yeah, because we have business, sir.
Yeah, we're out on business too.
All right, so you guys briskly walk back to Luke's apartment, finding your way through the quarter, and it's nearing the evening time, maybe perhaps 8-ish or so, and parties are going on everywhere. You know, the bars are open, people are enjoying the atmosphere, and you make it back to the apartment where everyone still is. They're getting ready. They're kind of doing their hair, just trying to look a little bit more ready for this costume masquerade party gras. And Jupiter, she has this very nice like black kind of outfit on, and pretty and kind of a play on a witch, what a witch would look like costume, and everyone else is kind of doing their own thing. And Jupiter's the first one to kind of notice you guys entered. Like, oh, you guys made it back so quick. I thought we were gonna meet you there.
Yeah, so did we, but apparently he's out on business, so I think we might have to stop by after the ball.
Okay, that could be fine. Hemlock's not back yet. He was supposed to be back by now.
Do you think we should go look for him? Do you think he's okay?
I'm sure he's all right. He can run late a little bit sometimes. He's not very punctual, but I have your guys' clothes in the other bedroom if you wanted to change.
Okay, yeah, I'll go get ready.
So you guys go to change as well, and then you hear the front door of the apartment opening, and it's Hemlock. He is carrying a parcel, like a package parcel. On top of it, there is a book And on top of the book, there is a invitation, or like an envelope, manila envelope. And he closes the door, and he's like, "Was anyone going to get these packages? They were on the doorstep."
We didn't catch any packages, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. This one here says Trig, and he hands it over to Trig. And this one says to the friends of Mr. E, and he hands over the package.
No way, not another one.
Let's hope it's on a mushroom.
The last package we got from Mr. E is what sent Key3 into that void.
Mira takes a good couple steps back from the package.
So does Tara.
Willa looks down at it and she's like, I don't think we should trust anything that's in that box, but I'm curious to see what exactly he sent.
Well, I'll open it.
Okay, so Sarah, you go and open it. And the first thing is a little envelope with a letter in it that says, "You might need this," and it's signed Mr. E. On the inside, you see that there is a plant on the inside. It is in a little vial. It looks green, like bright green, with almost like mint-looking leaves on it, in a vial.
This is beautiful. And she'll show the whole room, like, look at this. It's green.
So Sarah, you know this to be the vervain plant.
A vervain?
Mm-hmm.
And do I know the properties?
The properties of a vervain is people consume it so that they can't be compelled by vampires, and it also repels vampires from drinking your blood.
Oh. One-time use, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So, this little thing is called a vervain. And, Drake, sorry, but this is something you consume, so you aren't very alluring to vampires, basically. And you can't be controlled by them. So, yeah. Anybody think they need this?
He's gonna kind of lean forward and like sniff at it and almost like snarl and take a step back.
Told you wouldn't like it. I'm sorry.
I just had to make sure. I mean, I've run into that before, but don't see why any of you would need that particularly now. I mean, I think I've more than proven myself.
I don't think it's for you.
I'll hang on to it.
Hemlock looks over and he's like, actually, weirdly enough, and a coincidence, but I have more information about everything. In my research, I found a way that might help us if we need it against the Countess.
Why would we need help against her? I think I'm lost in translation here.
Well, should anything come arise that we need to get the fuck out of Dodge, we might need to be able to protect ourselves against a higher vampire. As I'm sure you are well versed in vampire lore, and I'm sure Trig has talked to you all about, a higher vampire cannot be killed.
But she was nice to us. She helped us out to get into the Persephone. Why would we need to run from her?
Do you trust everyone you meet?
Never.
No.
Naive.
No.
Listen, I like to have a plan for everything. And if I'm going up against a vampire that I know I can't kill, I want to make sure that I'm well protected.
So what did you find?
So I started reading this book, which referenced another one, and I learned about the past of Saint Ignatius, who has the temple here in town. He was a great man who helped defeat a lot of the vampires who overran New Orleans during its beginnings. There was this vampire called Bloody Mary, and she basically ran the city and drank it dry. And if it wasn't for Saint Ignatius, New Orleans would not be here. It would be a vampire nexus. He crafted something called the Barbed Cross, and it's said to be able to kill a higher vampire.
Well, it would definitely be good to have around, just in case.
Yeah, and if you're smart, being a higher vampire, what would be the first place you would hide such a weapon if you had it?
In their body.
No, because that would kill her. Under her bed.
Yeah, she'd want to keep it close by.
Probably protected by a lot of other vampires.
Good thing we have a vampire who is cozy with her, right?
It's
he
funny
just,
that you,
stares at you.
it's funny that you mention guarded by a lot of vampires because, as Jupiter and I'm sure everyone now knows, those vampires are at the Persephone, and that means their lair has a weak spot.
You can't
But
really
there's
be
still vampires
suggesting
there.
what I think you're suggesting.
You know exactly what I'm suggesting.
But the ball.
I thought we were gonna dance and eat beignets.
Yeah, there'll be more time for that once we defeat the big bad.
Are we sure that there's not going to be any vampires there?
Well, I'm sorry I was a little late, but I did manage to go by the hotel, and I couldn't see anyone. In fact, there was a sign on the door that said, "Closed to all guests."
But would she have bodyguards around, or vampire guards, whatever you call them?
Yeah, but when has that stopped us before?
That's true.
You really think we could do it? You think that we could get in and get the cross and get out? You think it'd be that easy?
Jupiter steps forward, and she's like, "I am ready to show these vampires who's boss and take back the city for the witches."
Alright. I'm in.
Mira's going to be sort of uncomfortably holding herself back from the group. It's just like, is everybody okay with this, though? Like, I know that it doesn't really affect us, but are you okay with this, Drake?
Oh, you mean the sneaking into one of the most renowned places that is heavily guarded on its most vulnerable night to try to take a city back for people that probably want to kill me? I don't know. He just kind of looks sarcastically and holds up his hands what did you expect?
Yeah, plus, do you really want to piss off your new mommy?
At least I have one.
Oh.
She leaves the room.
Hemlock looks at Trigg and is like, "I don't agree with it, but I'm glad you're in on this. Because if I'm going into this hive, I definitely want you on my side."
Okay, so apparently you just missed the entire sarcasm of that. He's gonna look at Willa and I don't want to hear it from you right now. And he's also gonna leave.
The apartment or the room?
The room. Probably stalking back toward his closet, to be honest.
I know that everybody's a little nervous about the Countess. Just trust me, I'm not necessarily the first one to trust a vampire. This is all still very new. But at the same time, having it might not necessarily mean we have to take over or attack. It's just a backup plan, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And from what Jupiter was telling me, wasn't the Countess the one who was running that death ring below the Persephone? Be surprised that you guys aren't willing to more to get on her bad side. Fuck her for doing that. That's inhumane.
You're definitely right about that. But we have so many enemies.
Cal looks over to Hemlock and he's like, "I'm with you. I want to go too." The vampires are the ones who cast out all the werewolves in the city and made us have to live in the bayou. Fuck her for that.
Is anybody else thinking what I'm thinking?
I'm thinking about beignets, but what are you thinking?
I mean, they were like love. No, Trigg, I understand that he's a vampire and wants to be associated ones of his kind, but we don't know what actually happened during his conversation with the Countess and why they're so buddy-buddy now and why she was willing to help us, even though it doesn't add up. And I think Trigg has some questions he needs to answer before we walk into this den. I'm with you too, but I think he needs to fill us in on a little bit more information before we go in.
That was actually what I was going to say too. But she's
Not just beignets.
she's gonna be like, yeah, this seems all of a sudden suddenly we have to take out the Countess when she has not shown any ill will towards us at all. And I want to be a neutral party in all this for reasons.
Jupiter like looks over at Sarah and she's like, you don't get that option to be neutral. You're either with it or against it.
What do you mean you can't be neutral?
You're either for the vampires taking over the city and not letting the witches cast magic at their innate ability, and they exiled all the werewolves of the city. They get to complete control for what? I had to deal with that back in Salem and having to hide my magic and not be able to use it. And I can only imagine what that's like for the werewolves and for the witches of the city.
Yes,
I'm not standing up for that.
This has nothing to do with my kind at all.
But you're with this party.
Am I?
So selfish is what you're saying.
No, bipartisan.
Okay,
You don't.
I'm going to calm you all down real quick here. Look, I have seen you guys work together in extremely dangerous situations at odds for the members of your group. Obviously, Trigg's not okay with necessarily the ideas have been thrown out of what to do with Cross, but we, like you said, don't know what he talked about with the Countess. And Tara just stormed out to the other room too, so I really think that we should probably all just talk about it first. Not saying that it's wrong or right or what to do, but if we're going to do this, it's probably best to do it as a group, because we don't want to alienate somebody, certainly with something as sensitive as this. Because, trust me, I did not, from what you guys have told me about what went down there, I don't want necessarily that to continue, but I also don't think that throwing away a friendship is also worth, you know, all of this.
A friendship with who?
Any of you guys. I mean, you guys are a strong group. Why would you guys throw that away over a disagreement? Talk to each other. Obviously, none of this is happening.
Jupiter looks down and she looks up to Hemlock and looks over to Cal and she says, okay, fine. Let's all talk. But the moment they want to leave and storm out, that's on them. That's their privilege to do this. They don't have to worry about all the background noise and all the stuff that Hemlock and I'm sure Cal can understand as well, of not being able to feel like themselves in this city.
I mean, they probably can, because Tara is a witch, remember? And then Trig is also a vampire, so they are literally the two pieces that are up against each other.
And we see where their loyalties lie.
Well, yeah, wouldn't you? You're obviously loyal to the witches. Wouldn't you think Trig would feel the same way about being loyal to his own kind?
He's
Do
the
you
one
think
in the
that's
closet. He stormed out. I'm
And
still
so
here.
does Tara.
That's on them.
Kithri's slowly going to inch her way over, not to where Tara is, but to where Trig marched off to, because obviously she was not heard very well in her little outburst.
But we have to make sure everybody's on the same page. And if they're not, then we might just have to leave without them.
I'm saying.
Because you're right.
Sorry.
You're right. What the Countess has done, even though she has shown no ill will towards us, and that could be because we are in the company of Trig, who knows what happened between those two. But you see all around, I've seen from Salem and how that was, and what has happened, which is warlocks being burned, magic users just being burned at the stake. And it could be even worse here. And the werewolves were cast out just because of what they are, and it's not right, and the Countess is all to blame.
You guys were there when she offered you all rings, but surprisingly she didn't have one for me. She made it a point to say witch to me. That shows you how she views me as a person. You can't tell me that Countess, one of the highest ranking supernaturals of the city, can't get another ring for someone. That's utter bullshit, and I don't believe it.
I agree. But we have to make a decision, and those two need to come back. So we can talk all of this out and make the plan to storm the hotel. Because I'm with you guys. It's wrong what happened here. And if there's anything we can do to right it, it's in our power to. This is the part of the darkness.
I don't see it as that, actually. I see what happening here is the darkness, actually. This prejudice from both sides that we're seeing. This is what's fueling the darkness, not a countess, exactly. It's negative emotions, wanting to go at war and at each other and get back and stuff like that. That's darkness. That's what I keep trying to say. I am neutral in this.
So we roll over.
I say, you talk to the countess.
Do you really think someone who is power hungry as she claims to be is willing to make any sort of compromise?
Has it been done before? Has it been tried lately? Or has everything that's been bicker, bicker, bicker? War, war, war. That's mine, that's yours, that's mine, that's mine. Me, me, me. That's what I hear.
We have no power. We have no power until we get that cross, even to try to make a compromise.
Taking that cross means you want to kill her. It's threatening.
Even so, how are we supposed to fight the darkness without fighting? If you want to go on this tyrant against darkness, how do you expect us to fight the darkness without fighting?
Oh, she expects us to roll over and be bipartisan about this, Willa.
It's not a way to fight it. Because if you don't fight, all the people who are power hungry, greedy, full of darkness within them, they're the ones that are going to win. That's how the darkness wins. There's no one fighting for the good.
But are we actually fighting for the good? This is all very gray.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one, Sarah.
Okay.
It's not gray when people are being cast out of their homes, being ridiculed for who they are, being burned at the stake for who they are. That is not gray. That's pretty fucking black and white to me.
How do you think the vampires feel, though?
What do you mean? They feel power hungry. They feel like they have the biggest dick in this area. Oh, Willow would not say that, I'm sorry. Backtrack. Backtrack. Got up in the moment.
But Lauren just came out.
Lauren just came out.
That was wonderful.
They're the ones who are feeding off the power that it gives them. Everything is at their disposal. What do you mean that's how you think they feel?
What about Lady Tremaine, who is also a witch?
Yeah, and fuck her. She tried to kill you, and I saved your life. Like, I don't understand where you're coming from, Sarah. I don't want to even listen to this honestly right now.
Okay, then you don't have to. I'm just saying both sides have wrong and both sides have rights. And both sides should come together and just talk things out and try to make an agreement for once. And
When's the last time talking worked anything out?
When's the last time was it tried?
Quite a few times, I feel like.
Okay.
How can there be talking when the other side has a knife to your throat the entire time, and all you have is your words? They aren't willing to listen to you. They aren't willing to change.
Are you willing to
They're not
change?
willing to compromise. Me?
Mm-hmm.
Change how?
Exactly. Exactly. How?
I'm not... What am I doing wrong?
I'm not
By wanting
saying you're not
justice?
doing anything wrong. I'm just saying it's the same predicament everybody else is feeling. How? How can we incite change? Without inciting a riot, death, darkness, destruction. Without taking lives.
I don't see you coming up with a plan.
No, I don't have one yet.
Well then, what have you been doing all this time during your kingdom while trying to figure out and fight magic? If you don't have a plan now, when will you ever have a plan?
I'm seeking out the darkness. The epitome of it. Where it actually stems from. I was close with Xander.
So, you're just using us to find out the darkness, but not necessarily fight it.
No, I'm not using you. But if you want to use me to use you, I certainly can. I've made no deals with you.
And we made no deals with you, Sarah.
Exactly.
All right, Kara, you and Trig. I need a moment. And Willa, she doesn't leave the room, but she steps out of the conversation, getting frustrated, and feels like she's talking to a brick wall.
Cal walks over to Willa and puts his arm around her and just like, I know where you're coming from. It's okay.
I just don't
Quick
understand.
question.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Willow, when you say you step out of the conversation, are you stepping toward the doorway? Or just out of the circle?
Just out of the circle of conversation. Like, think she would be backing up into like a corner kind of deal. Not in the center of the party.
Okay. The reason I ask is that Trig didn't actually go to the closet. He headed in the direction, but he's literally just sitting right around the wall listening to all this. And if she had stepped into the doorway, then she would have seen him.
Gotcha.
I was gonna say, I think the only one who's headed towards Trig is Mira at this point, which I'm sort of waiting until all this goes.
I guess I did go. She's just like gonna go back looking at the window. She's minds on other things.
Okay, so Mira's gonna, like, sort of turn the corner and just see him sitting there. And, like, very tentatively inch forward and sort of, like, crouch down. Not quite sit next to him, but, like, crouch down so she's not, like, hovering over him. It's just like, so, I don't know what all you all have been through. But I do know you have your reasons and they have their reasons. Why, outside of the obvious, would you be against this? And I understand not wanting to hurt your newfound companion you found in the Countess, but can you think of any other reason why we would be able to use this?
He's not even going to look at her. He's just going to say, the group needs to have a talk.
Then I think you're the first one who needs to go back. Because you are the one that they're all fighting about.
Mira, I know you mean well, and thank you for trying to stick up for me and be a voice of reason. You're not exactly part of the group yet.
She's kind of been taken
And he's
aback
gonna
by
stand
that.
up. He's gonna stand up, walk around her, and go to the doorway of the kitchen. Not quite enter the kitchen, respecting that boundary, but it's like, can we talk as a group, please?
I would love nothing more, Trig. But, you got a friend waiting for you who stormed out when we tried to talk.
And we will go retrieve her. By the group, I mean those of us that have been together since the very beginning.
Oh, I see. And Jupiter looks over to Hemlock and looks at Cal, and she's like, we'll be downstairs at the bar. And they all leave, including Cal. Jupiter does stop, and she at the doorway, and she like puts her hand up on the door frame, and she looks at you all. You can see that she's obviously very shaken. This is very not her character. She's always been such a sweet, loving, like friend, but you can see that she's very passionate about this feeling. And she looks at Sarah and she goes, "I love you. Don't forget that."
Don't worry. As I said, I'm neutral. I love everybody. But remember, Summers even has lightning.
Yeah. And she closes the door as they leave.
He is... Okay, where is everyone in relation to Trig right now? Because I know that Tara is out. Is Mira still in the living room?
Yeah.
Oh, Mira's... You left her in the hall. She's not following.
Okay, so she's where... Okay. Where are Willa and Sarah in relation to that doorway?
Willa's in the living room. She's just closer to the corner, like the outskirts of the, like, against the wall.
Sarah's by the door, like the window. She's looking outside, basically. She's
Okay.
looking for something.
Okay. He is going to cross the room, respecting personal boundaries, but go to Willa and say, would you please try to coax Tara down?
I'll do my best.
Thank you.
Can you promise to be honest with us when I gather everybody?
I know you weren't here for this first discussion, but you've been with us long enough to where I feel that you are part of this group. Since the first day that we've agreed to keep secrets, I haven't been the one to do so.
Thanks, Trig. She nods at him, and
He
then
nods at her.
she slowly walks towards the bedroom.
Pause.
And
Pause. Just so you know, I love every single one of you. And remember, this is all roleplay. If anything does sound is personal, we can talk. But good vibes only.
Same.
That's serious, Robin.
No, this is fine.
Like, I'm living for this.
No,
right
literally,
now.
like, I'm shaking how much I love this because this needed to happen. This conversation needed to happen.
Nope, no hard feelings. I love it.
No.
Good.
Although I do apologize of Lauren's outburst and not Willa.
But what I love about that means that shows how passionate you are about this. So
Yeah.
like that's good. Like that's good. But you're good. Okay. Anyway, so Willa goes over
And
to.
let's be honest.
Let's be honest.
The one person to have big dick energy that you've run into that is a vampire is Trig. So, I mean, it makes sense.
That's true. All right. So Willa goes over to where Tara stormed off to. Do you knock on the door? Do you open it? What do you do?
I knock on the door.
She opens the door and is kind of like surprised to see that it's Willa. And she steps out into the hall and just kind of shakes her head and says, I don't want to talk about it. And she's just going to kind of like head back towards the living room.
Okay. Willa was ready to give her a whole speech, a talk, but she nods and she follows Tara back to the living room.
We're still in the hallway if you have something you wanted to say. Like, Tara's not rushing.
Oh, okay. She's not like, okay.
She's just kind of like, her initial statement is, I don't want to talk about it, and she's going to just like step out into the hallway with Willa.
It was wrong for him to say that, and he does it just to get under your skin. But I hope that you're able to look past that because we all need to have a big talk. And Trig should watch his mouth, and it wasn't right, and I'm sorry he made you feel the way he did. I shouldn't be apologizing for him, but someone needs to apologize to you.
Yeah. I think you're right. I can't look past him talking to me like that. I mean, you understand that, right?
I do. But maybe during this big talk we're all supposed to have, maybe talk to him about it. Because it's not fair to you to feel like that. Ostracized. Him calling you out always. It's things that you can't control.
Always. He won't leave me alone. I don't know why. I mean, I know that I give it back to him a little bit, but that's only because all day, every day, everything I do, he gives me such a hard time, and I don't know why. Do you know how many times I've had to tell him to keep his hands to himself?
You're the only one he ever touches. I don't know why he does that. You need to talk to him. You really do.
I need to talk to him.
He's not going to be the bigger person.
Well, I shouldn't have to be either.
If no one's going to be the bigger person, nothing's going to change.
I think he's a jerk. I thought he was a jerk before he died, and he's been worse ever since.
I think there's a lot going up there in Trig's mind that we don't fully understand. And I think he takes it out on us.
Yeah, but we could say that about every member of our group.
Some people handle things differently, you know that.
He's an asshole.
He is. Just as I am curious and sometimes naive. We all have our flaws. But let's go back, okay?
Thank you for coming to talk to me. I was about to come back out anyways. I just needed a minute to... I don't know.
Willa goes over and she opens her arms for a hug, but she doesn't hug her yet. It's more like an invitation because of the comment of saying like he touches her, and she takes that as a word that she doesn't want to be touched, but she holds her arms out as if Tara needs a hug, she is willing to get it.
She kind of gives Willa a skeptical look for a second, but then she does step forward and gives Willa a hug.
It'll be okay as long as everyone in the group talks it out. And I'm here for you, Tara, no matter what. Even though we all give each other a hard time. I love all of you guys. You become my family. And she lets go, and she gives her a little smile, and she walks to the living room.
Yeah. You guys are the only friends I've ever had. I guess except for Trig. But thanks, Willa. And she's gonna follow her into the living room and kind of hang towards the back of the room. She's gonna cross her arms and just kind of lean up against the wall and does not look at Trig.
Silence.
So is everybody in the room?
I believe so, yes.
Everybody but
Okay.
Mira.
That's okay. And he is going to kind of like look at everyone and cross the floor and lock the front door. And what piece of furniture is there by the front door, and who is sitting in
There's
it?
a couch and it's Sarah. Or like
There's
a
a couch and it's Sarah.
more like a
Okay.
daybed type of thing.
Okay, like a fainting couch kind of
Yeah.
thing. Okay. So he's going to cross back over to the daybed, kind of prop his arms up on the, like grabbing the back of the couch, supporting his weight. He's like, okay.
Okay.
Sarah's gonna like
Didn't know
turn
if
back.
anybody else had anything to say. Go ahead.
Sorry. Sarah's gonna turn back and smirk a little bit, and then like turn, like not like cross arm or anything. That's like hands behind her back and like open. Like let's hear this type of way. I finally found what I was trying to like come across. Finally, it was like transcription.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So a whole like speech here, but not time for that yet. So, Trig, Tara, our honorary, vampire and witch, how do you feel about this whole look through the countess thing? War against everybody here, it's your fault, it's my fault. What do you guys actually feel?
What do you mean? Like, what are you asking me? What do you think I feel? I don't care. I want us to do whatever we need to do to be safe, and whatever the group thinks is best is fine with me.
Alright. So you're okay with going into the hotel, getting that cross, using it to possibly kill a countess, which Trig is obviously linked to, right?
I don't know. Like I said, I mean, whatever you guys think is best. I don't know. I don't care. If you want to go get the cross, I'm here for the group, and if that's not something that Trig is comfortable with, then I guess we'll all change our plans.
Not Mira, sorry, I'm looking at you, Tasha, I'm like, Mira, you're here. And Willa, you're very passionate about this because of reasons that have just become illuminated for some reason. And
I've always been passionate about that.
about the magic, about the witches, about the WLF, about the vampires, about the werewolves. You've always been passionate about that? You just found out you had magic, I know that, and now you are befriending another werewolf, which is great. And we have Trig here, who is also a vampire. I just want to hear your thoughts about the whole thing, because a moment ago you were very passionate.
I'm passionate because of what has happened in my past. And I see the wrongdoings.
And the vampires did this?
Briarglen. Hold on. Let me speak. From when we were in Valen, from Briarglen, from before I even met you guys. They took all the mages and they burned them, including my father. You've known this. I've told you all about this. My connection with the WLF was because they were trying to fight for justice for the people who were getting killed just because of who they are. Here, the same thing is happening. But it's the vampires who control the city. Not King Lorvis, although I'm sure he has some part of this. I'm passionate because of what I see, and how many lives it turns ugly for. How people are treated, it's not fair. Just because of who they are. I'm passionate because, yes, I just found out I have possible magic. But it comes from emotion and memories and connections to people who I've seen it happen to. So if I have any way of stopping it, I'll do it. I'm here for justice. And you can make it sound ugly all you want. But I'm still going to be passionate about it. I don't know if you just weren't listening to my story when I first joined the group, because you didn't find me interesting. But I've always been passionate about this. I might not have spoken up as much as I have now, but I'm tired of seeing this injustice done to these people. and making friends with these other werewolves, vampires, witches, is just feeling that passion for justice to be served and for the evil doings to be finished. So that's how I feel. That's why I'm passionate. And if you're questioning my passion, maybe you should question what your passion is.
Very good. Now I want you to think about what you just said, actually. About the passion about, like, wanting the creatures part. Like, how everybody was being treated. Everybody includes those vampires as well. And did the vampires kill your village, or was it the king's men?
It was the king's men who killed the people in my village. But here, in New Orleans, it's the vampires who are killing the witches, the werewolves.
But do we know that for certain? We're taking somebody's word for this. We haven't seen it firsthand yet, like we did in Salem. We've seen some sort of Kingsmen type thing here, which seems awful, and they seem to be just as bad. But I'm not quite sure if the vampires are the bad guys here.
You really don't think that?
What evidence do we have?
They're the ones in power.
Do we know that for certain?
You can tell by just how they are. At the Persephone.
One place. We visited one place.
We visited one place, but we've also seen a guy get arrested for just being too drunk. We've also seen the werewolves out in the bayou. And yes, they claim to be forced out of the city by vampires. So if we get a leg up on this countess, I'm willing to do it. To fight back whatever necessary evil. It's not necessary, I didn't use that word right, sorry, retcon.
And then
to end this evil.
You know
what? I'm tired of talking to you about my passions. And for you trying to understand me, because it doesn't seem that you're getting any of the hints that I'm dropping. It's... Sarah, you're a lovely person, but you're not willing to see what's right or wrong.
I'm willing to see the whole picture, that's why. Trig, can you tell us your side of the story now? Is the Countess really that bad? How deep does this vampire ring run here? Who's actually in charge? Is it the Countess, or is somebody controlling her? And why is this a war that we have to fight suddenly?
I have been in this city as long as any one of you. I don't understand these political lines that have been drawn in the sand. And quite frankly, I don't fucking care. This is not my city. This is not my problem. Y'all are so hung up on this thing between me and the Countess. Do you know what it is? And he's going to hold up the letter that he has yet to open. And he's going to rip the seal on it and hold it out and read it. So what does it say, Trey?
That can change everything.
I sent it to you, Allie. Did you get it?
What platform did you send it on?
It was on Discord in a direct message.
Let me pull it up. Oh, hey, look, I have a direct message. He's gonna hold it out, and it's Master Trigva. I hope you're enjoying my city. Your friend, and he's gonna use the quotes, the air quotes, is Garrus, and he is my head of security. He's going to be at the Cortez this evening, manning the building. It's only him and a couple of staff tonight, as his friends and I are going to be staying out late at the Persephone. It's been closed for all guests, so don't worry about any gawkers. I've told him that you might stop by for a bite. Just don't get any blood on the carpet. It's imported from Agrabah, and I really don't want to spend another $1,000 to get it cleaned. Also, I left you a gift at the front desk. Yours, the Countess. And he's going to kind of look around at everyone, and he's like, whether she's being controlled or not, she's trying to control everyone else, including me. She wants me to be a hired hitman, and if I haven't already played that role in my life enough times, then whoever strike me dead here. He's gonna kind of crumple up the note and toss it behind him. What I was getting upset about is that you all were on board with helping the witches rebuild. Why is that your fight here? I get that, Willa, your father was involved with the WLF, and I know that when we get back to Salem, if we ever get back to Salem, we're going to look into this for you, because that is what we do as a group. Tara, the whole reason we're here is to try to take care of Nyx and get her away from you for good. So why is their fight and their injustice our problem? We have enough of it to deal in Salem, where all of us have already called home for a number of times. How many of you remember Ronnie and Noah?
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been saying. I want to take care of Nyx and head back to, if we should go back to Salem, I don't know. But, maybe, Trig, if you would just get off my back for a second, you would hear that I agree with you.
I don't want to hear that you agree with me. I want to hear that you're going to stand up and fight for yourself and quit playing the victim. You are, if not one of the most powerful, you are the most powerful one in this group with the most fucking potential. And there's a fair amount of us that grew up without a family, that watched our parents be slaughtered, and he's going to cut a look at Willa. And yet, we carry on. We are here for you to take care of this. And the whole reason we haven't just up and left yet is because now we are also involved with the Shadow Man to make sure that you are off scot-free.
You think I don't know that? Okay, I didn't want to rope you guys into this.
I'm not saying that you don't know that.
I said from the beginning, and I've said this entire time, that I don't want anyone else to get hurt. I didn't want to drag you guys into this. I'm not playing the victim. I'm doing everything in my power to try to get myself out of this. I'm not standing out here preaching about taking care of the darkness as a whole, or making peace between all the races. I don't want to do that. I want to be safe, and I want my friends to be safe, and don't talk to me about my family after what you said earlier.
So apparently you didn't hear a single fucking thing.
What do you want from me, Trey? What do you want me to say? I'm doing the best I can to take care of the problems that I'm facing. I don't want those problems to impact you guys, but they are. I wouldn't blame you if you up and left, but I don't want you to do that because I don't think I can do this alone. I know that's selfish. What do you want from me? What do you want me to say? You don't want to take out the darkness. You don't want to make the problems of the city our problem, but you also don't want to hear that I'm not worried about that I'm doing the best I can. What do you want from me? Honestly, what do you expect? When you say all the shitty things you say to me, what do you expect me to do? What do you want?
Honestly, I want you to trust the rest of us and know that we're not here for selfish reasons. And even though you don't want to get us hurt, we know the risks, and we're not going to leave you.
Oh, I trust that
You
about
can take
pretty
that
much...
off your plate.
No, I trust that about pretty much everyone else. The only one that I can't really seem to find a way to trust is you.
Okay, there it is.
Why do you think that might be?
Well, I'm not quite sure you ever got over the fact that I'm a vampire, number one.
I don't care that you're a vampire. I care that you're an asshole.
But see, I don't see anybody else in that group having this kind of problem. Maybe I wouldn't be an asshole if I wasn't met with your bitchy attitude every single fucking time.
Don't talk to me that way. How dare you
so
talk
you
to
can call
me?
me an asshole, but I can't call you to the carpet. The sword swings both ways, darling.
You never cut me any slack. Everything that happens, you're the first to pipe up and make me feel terrible. Everyone in the group sees it. Willa sees it.
Even though how many times have I brought up Victor's death, aside from just now, and everyone else has brought it up multiple times?
I'm not talking
You
about
fuck up
Victor's-
royally, and it's not your actual fault, I will be more than happy to help you dig yourself out of that hole. But again, when you create these problems and these obstacles in your mind, or you seem to think that, oh, all of a sudden, we're your enemies, and you're running around with What's-Her-Face and Safiria over there at the school.
Yeah, let's talk about that. You know, they did nothing to make me think that we shouldn't trust them. Like, yeah, at the end, whatever happened to Evelyn, I mean, obviously now she's different. I don't really understand what happened there at the end, but when we first met them, they were perfectly nice. They wanted to help me find my magic way more than you did. And, growing up, I wasn't allowed to speak to anyone. Not one single person other than Nyx. Nobody. I have had to learn everything that I know about the world since I met you. And you are the only person other than Nyx that has been that level of controlling.
So apparently, because I can see the mistakes and I want to save you from them, I'm being controlling. I apparently need to let you find out all this shit on your own and delay us even further.
I'm not trying to delay us. And most of what has happened hasn't been my fault. These things that are happening aren't because of a choice that I made. I feel like that should be clear by now. I mean, yeah, okay, the deal with the Shadow Man, sure. But what else was I supposed to do? That was our only lead. Other than that, everything that's happened has been pretty out of my control. I didn't kill Victor. And you know that.
Sarah's going to push off the windowsill, and she's going to be like, that is true to a sense, actually. The curse killed Victor. The curse that's inside you. So that is a kernel of truth. The sooner we get this curse out of you, the better, of course. I wonder what Nyx has to do with this place, actually. The werewolves were afraid of her. Are the vampires also afraid of her?
I don't know. Ask the vampire.
I know he doesn't know. But I know somebody who would. Just saying. Think we should talk to the Countess.
And get murdered in the process.
Well, again, I hate to burst your bubble, but unless you're willing to go back into the Persephone, we're not going to see you.
I am curious to know why my own mother was there. Could be politics, of course.
I have a question for you, Trig. What happens if you don't fulfill your assassin duties?
I'm still, in a sense, and Trey, correct me on this if I'm wrong. I'm still, in a sense, chained to Lucifer, I guess. It's really weird. It's like she's trying to wrap this up as being my freedom, yet I would still be under her and I'd have to do her bidding and all this. I don't really think anything bad would happen, just definitely not anything good.
Well, for right now... You can go ahead, Lauren.
Well, I'm guessing that you don't want to be in the same situation you were with Lucifer, even though I don't fully understand that, because I wasn't with you guys. Wouldn't you feel a little bit better if we had that magical cross? Because we have to decide what we're going to do.
I have a question too. So if we get this magical cross and the Countess finds out about it, are we making an enemy of her? If she's supposed to be the one that's going to, I don't know, sever your ties to Lucifer, however this works, then why are we making an enemy of her? She gave us the rings to get into the party. If you guys think that this is the best course of action, of course I'll support you and go, along with it, but why are we making an enemy of the Countess?
Exactly. Why? I don't see a reason at all yet.
She's trying to control Trig. Do you know how many other vampires or other beings she has control over?
But she offered them a choice just like Trig.
Yeah, poor Trig being controlled by somebody.
We're all controlled by somebody.
Tara?
What?
You're not going to solve your problems with Trig by being sassy back. Neither of you are, okay? What we have to understand is what we're going to do. are we going to not do anything and let Trig kill this assassin, or be an assassin and kill that person, and hope that Trig doesn't become a mindless zombie to the Countess and makes him stay with her? We don't know her intentions, and I don't think Trig really does either. Yeah, she gave him a deal, a bargain of being free, but under her control. We don't know what that means. And from what we understand of what's going on in this city, it's probably not good. I'd rather have a backup plan. I'm not necessarily, yes, let's give it back to the witches. I'm just saying we should end the madness where it is. And if it comes to it, it comes to it. But having that weapon in our back pocket for if and when things start to go wrong, it'll make me feel a lot safer than us being sitting ducks, waiting for the next thing to happen with no magical cross in our back pocket. And you guys need to figure out what your decision is. I've already decided for myself. You need to decide for yours.
I think it is kind of sounding like it's Trig's decision.
No, not at all. You all are agents of your own free will. I believe Will and I have reached the same conclusion, although I do want to amend what you said a moment ago, Willa. The fact that we're even talking about this in this city has already made us sitting ducks with targets on our backs. The thought of us even attempting to cross this woman in a city that, yes, she practically does run, from what I understand, is treason of the highest order. We've almost already sunk our ship. So, if any of you are not on board with going in there tonight to try to retrieve this barbed cross, you should probably make that known now and get to wherever you believe is safest.
All right. Well, I do not agree of getting a cross for backup for some reason, because this, touching it, I feel, would incite a war. When I still feel like two parties just need to talk. Just talk. It's nothing fancy. It's just talking to each other. It's not starting a war. I've seen enough war in my lifetime.
Are you living in some made-up fantasy world?
You guys can go ahead.
That's not how.
I just don't see any quarrel with her yet.
Maybe not for you. And maybe not for your own selfish reasons. But if anybody decides to go with us, I'm done talking about this. And Willa walks to the door, unlocks it, and walks down to the bar downstairs.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow Willa. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna go downstairs. Excuse me, and sit at the bar and just follow her out.
Sarah's kind of look at Trig and be like, I'm just worried what's going to happen if we kill the Countess. What will happen to you? Because it seems like you guys are linked. Would you die too?
Trig,
go ahead.
you would know from vampire lore, if you kill a higher vampire, you become a higher vampire.
Okay. But her same question I'm getting, because I didn't accept any of her offerings the other night. I am not actually linked to her, anything other than a possible verbal verification, correct?
For what you know, I mean, you had Lady Morgana, who gave you who fixed your daylight ring, and it's been attuned to her, and the Countess has told you that Lady Morgana works for the Countess, and you, if you agree to her terms, she will sever the link between you and Lucifer, letting you become your own vampire. And if you're talking about accepting gifts, what all did you accept from the Countess to get into Persephone? Did you take a cigarette from her?
Son of a bitch.
Did you drink the B positive blood?
So Allie knows this, but again, Trig is your resident dumb himbo. And he's just concentrating on the fact that he didn't drink from Paris when offered.
Correct.
Would Sarah be smart enough to know they just struck a deal? Like, her as a person?
No.
Okay.
Drake hasn't even really fully explained what happened that night.
That's true.
Okay. Back in character. He's like, from what I can tell, we have a possible verbal. I don't think there would be any repercussions outside of her possibly sending her cronies after me the same way that I am now sent to go after Grouse. So.
Did happen with the whole thing. How did you become connected with her in the first place?
I just received an invitation. I mean, as she said, you heard as I read the letter, she calls this her city. She sees everything that goes on here and knows every vampire that goes in or out of the city. And she'd never seen me on her radar.
I don't want to start a pot. Okay.
No, go ahead.
Know that. I don't know if she would know that though. Like, what I'm about to say, she's gonna be like, try to correct me if I'm wrong. She's gonna be like, but before the letter, when you did the thingy, what was that all about? You seemed reborn, in a sense, and then suddenly she comes out of nowhere. It seems very coincidental that she chose you for some reason.
No, it just has to be coincidence. I've never seen her. He just kind of like lets that idea trail off. He's like, no, I think that was from choices that I had made previously.
Choice? It's always good to have. Even when it's opposed against somebody else. Which I feel that people do not like my choice in neutrality as a politician here. So.
As a politician, you have my vote.
I'm just tired of seeing people fighting a war, and this feels like we're inciting into a war. Albeit small, on a very itty-bitty scale. But it feels like we're on the brink of darkness. It's teetering, and I don't like it. And I feel like I can't play a part. Not one I... Sorry.
Okay.
Something doesn't feel right. That's all. And it's not vampires or witches or werewolves. Something deeper.
You're right, and I have seen enough more than you. And even for the victors, it's the ending. And I hate to bring this up, but part of the reason I asked the others to leave is because it didn't seem like this big of an issue until they all stepped. And if we're really going to go up against this, no matter what portion of this, like you said, however small of this it is, if we're going to weather this darkness, we need to do it together with trust, even if we can't see eye to eye on certain things.
Which is all fair. We can still be friends and not see eye to eye, of course. We all have our own judgments, our own prejudices, our own thoughts and feelings. That's what makes us beings of this universe, basically. Even though we're all a little bit on a string, puppeteered a little bit, I feel sometimes. I know you feel that. I definitely feel that string being pulled, and we can see it on Terra.
I'm sure every one of us, I mean, even Willa, just trying to get everything put back together and move on and try to carry on what her father started. I mean, that's what drives her. At least from what I can tell, she doesn't talk to me much, but then again, she's also like Terra, or at least she was.
Yes. She's very passionate about the WLF, which we were trying to find, and we're still trying to find out exactly what they're about. And from what I know, they're about equality for all creatures, including the vampires, werewolves, and witches all together. So what's weird is this little insightful vampire colony here, when I feel like that's the opposition of what we actually want. I mean, she said it herself.
Years, I honestly think that all vampires
Should what?
should burn. But that's just my choice.
Well, that would make things fun.
Wouldn't it help with the darkness? And he'll kind of laugh and like motion to her to join him at the door if she wanted to.
Are you guys leaving Mira?
She's not part of the group.
She was never there.
Every time you say that, it hurts.
I know. I just wish there was one way that we get everybody to talk in this. You've seen more, I've seen more, and these people were with her very young, if you think about it. They haven't seen the death and destruction yet. They haven't seen true darkness.
They're just... Oh, I don't like to use this word. Just children. You and I have seen so much. And he'll kind of like run his hands through his gray silver hair.
Kind of nod and be like,
At that.
no.
By the way, because Mira's still in the hallway listening to all this.
Yeah, I know you're fucking listening.
Mira is going to go ahead and not try to interrupt their conversation, just walk out the door. But she is going to make the side comment of even children have been affected by the wars that are going on, and walk out.
Ooh.
Sarah's gonna side glance at Trig and smirk.
Trig, not realizing that Mira was still there, is gonna be like, oh, so now she speaks.
She's
Mira's
gone.
door, yeah.
I know. That was more for Sarah's benefit.
So you all head down to the bar at that point?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be right back, guys.
Okay. So, you finally managed to make your way down to the bar, and Willa and Tara are kind of a little frantic because they can't seem to find Hemlock, Jupiter, and Cal, as they said they were. You're on mute for it, Lord. You're welcome.
Tara, do you think they went without us?
I don't know. I mean, where are they? Why did they even leave?
Can I look around and see if I can see any part of their personal belongings that I've seen before, or is it just nothing?
You have searched, and you can't find anything of their whereabouts.
Where would they go?
I don't think that they would go alone. What if something happened?
Maybe they just went to get some food or take a walk. Let's not panic. We don't know anything for sure. Maybe they'll be right back.
Willow walks towards the bar of the door just to peek out to see if they're possibly getting some air.
When you walk out, that's when you see Mira heading towards you guys, and shortly after you see Sarah and Trig.
Hey, are you guys okay? You look panicked.
They're not here.
I'm trying not to be panicked, but Jupiter and Hemlock are gone. And Cal.
Well, I mean, if the group has decided to go help them, we can still go help them. If not, I mean, you all seem excited about this ball.
They wouldn't go alone. Unless they didn't think that we would agree. We have to...
You guys did spend a good amount of time up there, so they could have just thought that you guys were staying back.
It just doesn't seem
I
like
can't let them go alone.
They left pretty heated.
Sarah's gonna kind of lean against whatever wall she's near, and she's like, they're thinking. They're not thinking. They're thinking with darkness in their minds. This is what I see. Their judgment went so fast. They're blinded by it.
Well, with darkness or not, I'm going to help our friends. Who's with me? Let's go to the hotel.
Do you think we should just go straight to the hotel right now?
I don't know where else they could be.
And what if we get there and they're not there?
We
fell
have
into a
bigger
trap.
problems to worry about.
We can only hope that they're there.
Well, think of it this way. And she's trying her best to keep a smile on her face. It's like, worst case, if the majority of the group has decided and everybody's okay with it to go at least check it out, see if people they're there. That way we can help them if need be. And if we decide against it once we get there, it's not too late, and it's just us taking a stroll.
All right. And Willow walks toward the direction of the hotel.
Does everybody go with her?
Yeah, I'll follow.
Keythree's gonna wait and go last.
Oh, Keythree will?
Yes.
I was gonna say Trig's gonna bring up the rear.
Sarah's gonna, yeah, obviously, she'll follow.
Alright, so you guys head in the direction of the hotel. It's dark now as you traverse through the city, and eventually coming across the hotel Cortez. There is a sign on the door that says closed to all guests. On the front of it, do you enter?
I can't think of another way in.
You don't want to even try?
Maybe Trig could go in first,
Good
since they
idea.
seem to know him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Trig should go in first.
He shrugs and he pushes the door open and kind of weaves in between everyone. And kind of like stops, looks around, goes up to the, I'm guessing the concierge desk is where Kraus is.
So, you enter the hotel and immediately are gobsmacked. There is bloodshed and bodies everywhere. Remnants of purple magic kind of glitter through the air, and you're seeing bodies, charred, dismembered, dead across the couches and the lounges, and the furniture is upturned, and there's bits of smoky fire that are remnants in the main lobby of it all. Seeing this just brutal massacre.
So before anyone else can come in, he is going to turn around and almost pull the door closed, but not quite. And he's like, I don't know what we just walked in, but it's
What do you
nothing
mean?
good.
Well, what is it? Open the door.
I'm not going to stop you, but bodies, blood, remnants of magic, charred beings, and this was not what I saw last night.
Just open the door.
He swings it wide and takes a step back.
As you all enter, you see the same things that Trip was describing, and see this massacre in the lobby.
DM, does it look like human bodies? Does it look like vampire bodies?
Vampire bodies.
Killed by magic.
Purple magic.
If we are going to go ahead, we should probably go ahead cautiously. The last thing we need to do is catch them off guard and then think us to be enemies, not friends.
That's true.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say Willow's going to get her bow out and just get it ready just in case any other vampires find their way close.
Okay. So there is a grand staircase that leads up to the second floor. There is 2 doors below the staircase. One might go off to more hotel rooms. Excuse me. Another door. There is a sign on it. But if you approach, I'll tell you what it says. But there's a sign on a door. And there is books everywhere, like just kind of just destruction in this entire hotel. Where do you guys head?
Is the note on the door easy to see?
It is if you go up to it.
I'll go up to the note on the door.
Okay. So above the door, it says natatorium, and the sign on the door, it's a little crooked. Glass is broken, and it's like a plaque almost, and it says closed for refurbishment.
I relay this to the group. I don't know. I think we should go in there, or what should we do? What should we do? What happened?
I don't know. Willa's going to walk to the staircase and see if there's any trail of blood leading up to it or not.
Up to the door?
No, up the stairwell, like up the stairs.
Sure. So there is. Hello. So there are blood and bodies everywhere. I mean, there's trails of blood kind of everywhere. It's splattered. It's crimson. It's all fresh, but no distinct trail pattern.
Is there any footprints of blood that lead us anywhere?
There. Go ahead and roll investigation.
14.
So you're looking around. There are footprints that lead to behind the desk. That's really the only trail that you see. If you're looking specifically for blood trails.
I was just looking for like footprints, but
yeah, blood footprint.
Willa's gonna go behind the desk to see if there's anything there.
Okay. Behind the desk, you see a vampire who is teetering between life and death. You see that one of his arms is missing. He's coughing up blood, and you can see his eyes glazing over and white, and just like he is getting ready to die.
Willa leans down. She said, "Who did this?"
He manages to like look up at her through hazy eyes, and looks at her, and he says, "Witch." Before
Witch?
king.
That wasn't very helpful. She returns to the group and she says, I saw someone. There was a vampire behind the counter. I asked him who did this before he died. He said witch, and then he died. There's nothing I could do to help him.
Sarah is going to grin at this, like, and she's gonna cross her arms. She's like, "Well, we know who exactly did this."
Trig is gonna nod in agreement. And can you see room keys from there? Like, are they hidden behind the desk, or are they like?
Yeah, there's a whole just racks of keys behind the front desk that you can see.
Any that are obviously missing?
You wouldn't really know that because there could be keys given to guests, like.
Okay, I didn't
Yeah.
know if it was like one of those like, oh, this specific room was missing. Okay.
Oh no, but I like where you're headed.
Thanks. Okay.
Willa goes over to the two doors and she goes and she opens the one with that says, labeled for refurbishments, just to open it to see what she could see on the other side.
Okay. So you open the door just a crack, and on the other side it's very dark. But it looks like it opens up to a mezzanine or a foyer on the inside, but it's very dark in there.
She goes and opens up the other door that's next to it.
On the other side?
Yeah.
This leads to a back office type of area that leads down a hallway.
Alright guys, it looks like we have 3 options. Go upstairs. The refurbishment, it looks like it's really dark. I can't tell. There's no light. And then the other one's the office and hallway. What do you guys think we should do?
Honestly, if you're trying to hide something from everyone, you'd try to keep it as far away from people as you could. I say we go down the dark.
Okay.
I heard that. Oh my god. I just got.
You're fine. So right so you all agree you're gonna go towards the natatorium?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So right before you enter, you go up to the door, you hear the doors from the front doors open, and in walks Hemlock, Jupiter, and Cal, and they all look shocked. And Jupiter's like, "What the hell did you guys do?"
Oh, I'm so glad it's you guys. We didn't do this. We just walked in
Then
here.
What the hell did?
I don't know. Sarah, you said Who do you think did this?
I'll look at Sarah and she'd be like, "I think Nyx did this."
I talked to one of the vampires before he passed. He said it was a witch. And I'm so glad it wasn't you, Jupiter. Oh, we were so worried you guys came soon. We came before us. I know that we were enraged, but I'm so thankful it wasn't you guys.
I'm absolutely flattered that you believe that I can do all this. But no, we probably should have stayed at the bar a little longer, but I had to walk off. I'd just blow some steam, and there was this cart of spring rolls, and I just was really hungry. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm just so thankful you all are okay and weren't involved with this. But here.
No, we all were talking about it, and after leveling our heads, and I apologize for being so rash about things, but we came here because we thought you guys were gonna leave without us.
We thought you left without us.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. That's my fault.
We're cool. I'm glad you guys are safe. We were just about to head into that dark room. If you'd like to join us.
So you're all agreeing to this?
You know where I stand.
I guess so.
Okay, well, lead the way.
Well, at least it doesn't have to be dark if it's proven anything that magic can be done here. And Mira's gonna go ahead and cast light on just I'm assuming there's a piece of broken furniture somewhere around.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sort of hold it up as a torch and light up the room. It at least goes for 10 feet.
Sure.
That's a cool trick. I can do that same thing, but with darkness.
She pales just the slightest bit at that comment. It's like, are we going?
We're going.
Yeah.
Alright, so you all pass through the threshold of the natatorium, and you come to this kind of clearly not built all the way, but it is opens up to this mezzanine, and you see this large overgrown planter with cherubs carved into the center, and it sits in the middle of it. There's an old sign that says the Cortez Luxury Spa and Natatorium. There are stairs that split and go up to the upper floor. There is a door on the right-hand side with big gold-plated letters that says Natatorium. On this door is this intricate carving of a face with a shocked expression that you can just see just a glimpse of as you kind of maneuver your ways into this natatorium, and then the doors shut behind you, and all the light in the of the hotel dissipate as Mira is now holding up this magical light into this room.
So, where do you guys want to check out first?
You have the light. Why don't you lead the way? And she's gonna stay really close to Mira.
There's no dead bodies in this room.
No trail of blood, bloody footprints, anything like that?
Most of the trail kind of ends from it dries. The blood has dried off of the footprints, and they are barefoot footprints. They're not a foot like a shoe or anything like that. They're barefoot, and they fade off as it enters into this mezzanine.
I might have the light. I don't know if I should be leading the group, but I mean, should we go upstairs?
We could open the doors real quick just to see what the rooms could be before we do that.
Is there two doors or only the one to the right?
It's only the one to the right.
Sorry, my bad.
You're fine.
Mira's gonna go ahead and slowly walk towards it then.
Okay, so as you approach and you're looking at this kind of ornate carving in the door, you notice that the painted head is the only thing that's painted on this large brass and oak door, and one of its eyes are missing. Do you try opening the door?
Mira's very tentatively looking at the eye and trying to open the door with the other hand.
Okay, the door is locked.
Okay, well, that didn't work. Do you guys see an eye anywhere?
An eye?
It's missing an eye.
Isn't it just painted on?
Doesn't necessarily mean anything. It could be there's an eye somewhere in the room. It could mean nothing at all. But the door's locked, so we're not going in through this way unless we find a key or a way to open it.
Can I take that light for a second? I have an idea. Oh, it might be stupid, but
Yeah, here.
it's an idea.
She hands like the table leg or whatever. Willa.
Willa takes it and she puts her back to the door, trying to line herself in the field of the vision. And she closes the one eye that the painting does, and she opens her one just to see, and she goes forward to see if that would point her towards a key or something like that.
When you look at the door, you see that one of the eyes is looking up in the direction of the second floor.
Guys, we have to go upstairs.
Whatever you think.
Here, Mira, and she hands back the light, and she's like, "The eye is
for a second.
I thought I had to look for something, but the eye, it's looking up at the second floor. There might be something up there."
Lead the way.
Okay, and Willis holds up her bow at this point, and she leads the party upstairs.
Okay. You head up to the second floor, and you see that there are like this kind of front lobby for the spa portion of the hotel. There is this intricate-looking table. There's chairs on the table. There are ornate-looking wine goblets and candelabras and things like that. They're all covered in spider web and cobweb and things like that. Along the walls, there are portraits, big heavy curtains that block out the light, and then there's a central door that leads into the spa.
I think we go in. Willa opens the door.
You go to open the door and it's locked.
She looks around to see if anything would be out of place. She assumes that there would be some dust laying around since this place isn't often visited. If there's any, like, missing, it looks like something's out of place.
Can you roll investigation?
9. Hold on.
Well,
13.
where are you looking specifically?
I'm looking on the surfaces of the area. Like, you said there's a few things, like you said there's, like, some tables where the candle are at and stuff. So she's looking over there.
Okay. So you look across the table and kind of looking for the dust trails and looking for the spider web and stuff like that. And there's one singular object that looks to be fresher. It's not covered in dust. It's not covered in web. It is a teacup, and there are blood stains around the rim of it. Do you pick it up?
Yes.
Inside of the cup, there is a ring. The ring has an ornate marble-looking eyeball in where like a gemstone would be.
Guys, look what I found. And she plucks the ring up and holds it up for everybody. It's an eye.
That's perfect. Do you think that we can open the door with it?
I hope.
Okay, let's try it.
So
right.
you take the ring back down to the face. What do you do with it?
Can I investigate the doors to see if there's any openings where the missing painted eye is, if like there is a little slit to see if the ring of the band fits in it?
There is a hole where the missing eye is, but the ring does not fit.
Willa is going to try to take the gemstone out of the eye.
Okay, you do, and that seems to be enough to fit into the eyeball.
Willa puts it in, and she
All right.
goes to turn the door.
You hear a clicking sound, and the door unlocks.
Yes!
Nice job,
We're
Will. Cool.
Thanks.
Before you open the door, though, that is a lot to hide something. Should we not be careful just walking into random doors?
Well, that's why we have our weapons up, and she holds her bow that she's been holding up.
Okay, then you enter.
Yes.
Sarah is not going to enter right away. She's actually going to try to listen for any more carnage happening. Actually,
So just with your base perception, you feel there are distant wailings or echoes of moaning, groaning, of just wailing of displeasure and moroseness that kind of just like very faintly reverberate through the walls and the halls.
But no, like, banging of bodies against it and spell casting. So these... Fuck, I should have examined the bodies, see how long they've been there. Okay.
Do you enter with them now?
Yeah.
Okay. So this opens up to an indoor pool. You kind of look around. There's a pool deck with some stacked chairs, which would have been around where the base of the pool deck is. These large columns that extend into the ceiling to kind of hold up this intricately carved dome ceiling. When you peer down into the pool, you see dark, low shapes that are bobbing out of the still, brackish water. And the ceiling has hanging chains that almost look like thick black web strands. There's a balcony on the north wall that overlooks the mezzanine or the natatorium, and there's this ornate-looking red velvet curtain behind the balcony. There is a staircase on either side of the pool deck on the north wall that leads up to this balcony area. But this room just feels very weird.
I'm getting Karazhan vibes right now.
Willa walks in slowly with her bow pulled, and she looks around, and she looks back at the group, and she's like, "What is this place?"
Looks like a pool.
Sarah's want to examine the water.
Like get down into it, like go down the
Not touch it, but like get close and smell it and try to like see through it and like see if it's actually water or blood or a swamp or some sort of disgusting other thing, I guess.
Sure. So it is murky. It's disgusting. It just reeks of death. And then something catches your eye as you see something shift in the water below the surface.
Something's alive down there, I think. I wonder if this is a pet.
A what?
A pet? I don't know.
Pet? What do you mean, like a fish?
Well, kinda, but judging by this hanging black strand, it looks like some sort of torture device of some sort.
You said that there's like stuff bobbing in the water?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to tell what it is.
From where you are, or are you getting closer to the water?
I'm gonna go up to the edge of the pool and kneel down and not touch anything, but just try to see if I can tell what is floating on the surface.
Can you roll investigation?
Mira's gonna get closer with the light.
That's a 19.
Okay. So you peer down into the water, and then all of a sudden you see a human face, pale, macabre, rotting, bob up from the water, and then all of a sudden hands start reaching out of the water and crawling up the sides of the pool. There's about 5 or so that start crawling out, and then you just see more and more corpses, festering and just like disgusting, decrepit corpses crawling out of the pool. Roll investigation, or roll initiative.
Okay.
Yeah, bring it on.
Alright, hold on, let me pull this up real quick. Okay. So let's see, we got, who is rolling 20 to 25?
I got 22.
22? Okay. 15 to 20?
Trig has an 18.
17.
18 for Trig. 17 for Willa. 10 to 15?
14.
14.
Alright, go ahead and roll again.
19.
21.
Okay. 21.
Yep.
Are these undead?
Are they?
Okay.
Yes, they are definitely disgusting gross undead.
Okay.
Alright. So, okay, now we got that out of the way. Let's go ahead and start at the top with our good friend, Mira.
Alright, so Mira's gonna do the most instinctual thing she can think of the minute she sees a dead body rise up, and she is gonna try to do turn undead.
Okay.
So, any undead that can see or hear me within 30 feet must make a wisdom save
Okay.
of 14.
I will be right back when I roll all 20 of these.
20.
And out of curiosity, are any of these a half level or lower?
Nope.
Damn it. Okay.
They are... I'm not going to tell you. Okay, so I have to write this all
Fine.
out.
If they were half level or lower, if they fail, they automatically die.
Ooh. What happens if they succeed?
If they succeed, there's no effect. If they fail, they turn and walk as far away as they can for the next 1 minute, or till out of range or take damage.
Okay. And it's 14.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we got... of the 20 start meandering their way away from Mira, while the other 8 are still in combat. So,
And after that, Mira's gonna step back, not very far, but enough that she's not going to be like too close in melee with them.
okay. Next is Sarah.
Okay. I have like no AoEs. Okay. So I'm just going to be like, well, that's interesting. And cast Eldritch Blast, the one closest to me.
Okay.
That is a 11.
That's it.
Okay. And
How much
that
damage?
is 8 points of damage.
Okay.
Choose your favorite one.
Okay, so Blast of Energy blasts into one of them, kind of giving it a shambling backstroke, but it still does come towards you. Do you end your turn?
Yeah, that's what I can do. I'll walk away. I'll move away. I'll do that. I'll back up as far as I can, 30 feet. Be like, okay, it's time to leave.
Okay. Tara got a 19.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, I do have an AoE, so with my movement, where is everyone? And where are the creatures? Can I get into a place where I could cast a 15-foot cube without hitting any of my party members?
The confines of the natatorium are too close. Like, these creatures are swarming you. So there's not much area where you could get away safely to cast. Most likely, if you were to cast somewhere, you might be hitting someone. Because everyone's kind of generally in the same area, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, shit. Okay, in that case, I will cast Chill Touch at one of the ones closest to me.
Okay. What's that roll?
14.
That's a hit.
And that's gonna do 6 damage.
Okay. Anything else?
I will just keep kind of moving as much as I can to get away from the water and get away from the creatures and just kind of back up as far as I'm able to.
Okay. Go ahead, Trig.
Okay. He is going to take out his hand axe and swing at one closest to him.
Okay. AC?
Let's see. It's a nat 19, and that's before my addition.
That's fine, that hits. How much damage?
Sorry, try.
You're fine.
Give me 1 moment.
You're fine.
$11.
11 points?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay.
And then
Anything
he's
else?
gonna back up a couple steps, and he's gonna like look around trying to see if there's any sort of escape. Because if they're all clamoring out of this pool, he's looking for high ground. So he's looking, are there any walls? Is there anywhere for us to go? Anything? Just anywhere.
The balcony is where you spot, and the staircase leading up to where the balcony is at. Alrighty. Next we got Bella. And because you had your weapon drawn at this time, you can do a surprise attack.
Okay, I've never had to do one of those before.
Basically, it's just a bonus attack.
So I have 3 attacks? Okay. Alright. Well, the first roll I got, AC 18.
That's a hit.
Okay. Damage is 6.
Okay.
I can attack 2 targets per 1 action. So second, 15, 5 damage.
Okay.
Okay. Second action, 18, 6 damage.
Is this the same creatures or different creatures?
These are all different creatures. So it's like 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Next one, 16 AC, 6 damage, 14 AC. Is that still good? 4, and 1 more. 19 AC, 2 damage.
Alrighty. Sweet. So Hemlock, he throws a potion from his belt. This burst of smoke happens, attacking one of the creatures, and then Hemlock casts, and it hits 2. You see her kind of put her hood up and her smirk a little bit, like she's ready. And this fire bursts from both of her palms, and she actually takes down 4 of the undead. Cal does not turn wolf, but he takes the sword that he had and hits. Oh, that's kind of sucky. Okay, and one of them. So now we get to do these lovely, lovely creatures. Okay, the first. So we'll just go from the top since you guys are kind of surrounded. The first one is from Mira, which rolls an 11 for AC. That does not attack. 16 is the AC for that one. That hits, right?
Exactly hits.
Okay. So it grapples onto you. Let's see. Go. And uses a claw attack, which is 6 points of damage. The next one goes after Sarah, which is a 9 that does not hit, and the other one, it's an 8, which does not hit. Next is Tara, 2, and a 10. Those do not hit. Trig, you also have one on you.
Real quick question.
Sure.
How many of them again moved away from us?
12. So there are
12?
only 8. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I forgot the number.
You're fine. So there are 2. One gets a 4. The other gets an 18. Does that hit? Trig.
Sorry, I'm over here talking. The 18 does.
Okay. Does the same and only does 5 points of damage. There is one left in combat, which goes after Willa, which is an 11. That does not hit. Okay. Back up the top at Mira.
Alright, so Mira is going to go ahead and cast Scorching Ray.
Okay.
And target the one that is... Oh, wait, is she grappled?
Mm-hmm.
Never mind then. She's going to try to get ungrappled.
Okay, go ahead and roll. You'll probably beat it.
That was a 19 before adding my strength?
Yeah, that definitely.
Isn't much.
No, hey, that's fine. You are able to get ungrappled from this undead creature. Let's see. that is your action. Anything you want to do?
Hold on a second. I know casting spiritual weapon is a bonus action, but I didn't know.
Bonus action, you have to hit, right? You have to make the attack first, if I'm not wrong.
Hold on.
I think they can pull it out.
Yeah, no. I can cast it as bonus and make one attack with it.
Perfect. Okay, go ahead.
So yeah, switching gears. Not Scorching Ray. She's going to cast spiritual weapon.
Okay.
I haven't thought about this yet.
It's important.
I know it is important.
Is it a lollipop? Is it an umbrella? Who knows?
No, and I've already done a giant hammer once, so I'm trying to stay away from that. We are going to go ahead and say it is a giant warhammer. The spectral warhammer comes out.
Okay.
And is going to go to the one right in front of it. So it's just going to try to smash down on it.
Okay, roll AC.
That is an 18 to hit.
That's a hit. What's damage?
That is 11 points of damage.
Cool. So you just pull out the spectral warhammer, and literally just smash it down on top of this creature, and its guts and flesh just across the floor, killing one of them.
She grimaces.
All right. Up next, we have Sarah.
Just for my own record keeping, how many are up still?
7.
7.
12 of them are just shambling in the background.
Did you say that the others killed some, though?
Oh, yes. I am so sorry. They are working on the ones that are shambling away. So you guys are dealing with the 8 that are still attacking you guys. Hemlock, Jupiter, and Cal are attacking the ones that are moving away.
Okay. So out of the 12 you said moving away, 4 died?
Yes.
Okay.
So in total there are 15 left.
I crossed out too many. Okay. She is going to Eldritch Blast. That's all she can do right now. So that's what she's gonna do. 15. 22 to hit. Just kidding.
That's a hit. You're fine.
That is a 13 points of damage.
That's a hit. Oh, 13 points of damage. Okay.
Yeah. I can only hit once. I'm not cool yet. So.
Another one gets obliterated by your magic. Just kind of guts and disgustingness explode from him as the magic hits him. All right.
She
Anything else?
is going to back up a little farther, like try and find like the opposite exit, and be like, "This is very weird to have a pool full of dead hands in a vampire lair. This doesn't add up at all." And that's it.
Okay. All right. Next is Tara.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Poison Spray, and I'm gonna cast it with a sorcery from against twin spell, so I'm gonna cast it at 2 of them. It's a Constitution saving throw.
At 2 of them?
Yes.
One's a 3, one's a 17.
Okay, so the 17 takes half damage, right?
Usually that's how it works. If you succeed, yeah.
So
how much is full damage?
The one that failed it is going to take 7, and the other one is going to take 8. So not great, but
Another one dies.
cool.
So we're down to 13.
And
I just
will
realized I
continue.
am cool.
What?
I just read my spell. I realized I am cool. I can attack twice. I'm not going to do it yet, but I just.
Oh, you're fine. I was like, for her level to not be able to attack twice, that sounds kind of wild, but hey, whatever.
I was going to say the same thing.
I get 2 Eldritch Blast thingies if I cast Eldritch Blast. I get to hit twice.
Okay,
Yeah,
that
that's the
makes sense.
same.
Yeah. I can read.
Okay, and I'll just use my movement to continue getting away from the rest of them. Just keep.
Are you guys
kind of
all heading in the
dodging.
same direction of the balcony?
Sure. Yeah.
Probably.
Okay. Next is Trig. If you are talking, you're on mute. Or asleep.
We can both.
She shouldn't be. We're in battle.
I know it's a little late.
Okay, I thought I was unmuted this time, so I was like arguing with you, and I said give me another 11 minutes and then I'll be asleep, but whatever.
Oh.
Okay, going to, I guess, go at it again with my hand axe. So, I'm guessing the one that was on me that did damage to me.
Okay. AC?
Yep, nope.
What?
It was a nat 1.
Oh, that's okay. Yep, not a hit. Okay, anything else?
No, again, just continuing to back up. Not leaving melee, because I don't want to give them an attack of opportunity, but just backing up.
Okay. Next is Willa.
Already rolled 13 for AC,
Hit.
7 damage.
On which one? Any of
Whatever's left.
them? Okay.
Any of them, and she's going for their headshots.
Okay.
19 damage. 19 AC, 6 damage.
Okay.
17 AC, 5 damage. 19, and 8 damage.
So you managed to get a couple of them down, leaving 11 left. Similar thing as before. I don't want to go into too much of the NPCs. They're going to do their thing. They're able to take down 4 more of that. So then there's only one. No. Yeah. Yeah, there's only one. No. There is no more in your combat range. Willow was able to get the rest of them.
So are we out of initiative?
For now. It'll stay initiative if you want to continue with the other ones. There's 11 left. Wait. 4, 8. No, I'm wrong. Because I didn't account for the NPCs. Okay, they're actually only... There's only 4 left. See, so they're, up to you guys on what you want to do. Now that the other ones are not in combat.
Willa's going to rush over to the NPCs and help them out.
Okay. We'll give you an opportunity. Go ahead and attack.
Oh, 6 AC.
Nah, does not hit.
Okay. Then second. 3. I was having good rolls. Okay.
Yeah,
I suck at helping.
It's okay. You tried. That's all that matters.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Mira will probably go ahead and Sacred Flame one of them, and then attempt strike at another one with the spiritual weapon.
Alright, go ahead.
So, Sacred Flame, they need to succeed a dex save.
Dex?
Yes.
7. How many? What's your flames like area?
Oh, it's just one.
Just one? Okay. So then, yeah, it's hit. What's damage?
5 points.
Okay.
And the spiritual weapon, which I'll just keep it on that same one,
Okay.
is... No, hold on. 21 to hit.
That's a hit.
And then... we're looking at 10 points damage.
Alright, that one gets obliterated.
How many are now left?
There are only 2 left.
I will
I'll
target
take one.
Okay, and I'll target.
No, you
No,
can
it's fine. I'll target the other one.
Okay.
Because they're at least 120 feet away from me, right?
Oh, at least.
Okay. Eldritch Blast, succeed!
Tara, what do you want to do? I have an idea.
I could use Eldritch Blast as well, or I could do something else. What's your
Please.
idea? Eldritch Blast? Okay. I will also grab my crystal and cast Eldritch Blast at the other guy.
So, like, tag teaming, Sarah and Tara, literally, you guys, like, run up onto this, like, almost like minds are in sync, and your magic infuses with each other as they spin and twirl and twist and divine and literally just annihilate the rest of the bad guys, the undead. And that completes the combat, and Jupiter literally looks over at you guys like, that was fucking epic.
That was so cool!
Mira's gonna drop the spiritual weapon and it just dissipates in a little poop of, like, fire.
Nice job, Sarah. We got those guys. That was awesome. I really like this pistol.
Yeah. She's gonna smile, like, look at it like... But what's curious still... The fuck?
Trig, you can tell, you know exactly what these creatures are. Trig, you know these to be thralls, and those who could not turn to a vampire, and they just dump the bodies into this pool. And she says, "I'm out." She says, "I can't handle." But anyways, here, if she's actually leaving, like I'll roleplay Trig for a minute. We're not.
Oh, back.
She's back.
Sorry, shit got weird because it's like I heard you talking like they used to be thralls, and then everyone froze.
Oh shit. So you know that these are vampires' thralls. So those who has been tried to turn into a vampire, but did not make the actual transition into a vampire, and so they're just dumping these bodies into this disgusting pool.
Okay.
Did you relay
he's
this?
probably not going to share. No, not
Okay.
all the gruesome details. Just that we need to go, get out of here, find someone else.
Well, let's go find this witch. If it's not Nyx.
You don't really think Nyx did this, do you? I mean, maybe she
What
did.
color magic does she have?
DM.
Her magic is purple.
Fuck. It's purple.
She blinks and nods and just walks away.
Can I detect or tell if do I recognize it as Nyx's magic? Do I sense her presence in any way?
You
Did
don't
I?
sense her presence at all.
I don't know if she did this or not. You don't think she might still be here, do you? I don't feel her.
Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's keep going. And hope that we aren't the ones caught in this place when somebody returns and blames it on us.
I really wish we had that amulet.
We can turn back now.
Well, or we can go and look for that barbed cross. It has to be close. I'm going to try the balcony up there, and Willow starts to head towards the stairs.
If it's not already gone.
So you head up to the balcony, and really all there is a viewing area, and then there's these red curtains behind the viewing area of the pool. What do you do?
Are the curtains, against a wall?
Mm-hmm.
Can Willow move them real quick to see if there's anything behind them?
Sure. Behind the curtains, there is a door.
Hey, guys, come up here. And she waits for everybody else to come upstairs before she opens the door.
Okay. Everyone go up there.
Literally, yes, and she'll stand back.
Mira's picked up the light again and still has it.
Okay. So you open the door, and the contrast between this unfinished, cavernous, creepy natatorium transitions into what looks to be a hallway of cells. There are just a long hallway that kind of goes into the darkness, and there are cells along this hallway path.
What is this?
Some kind of dungeon?
Do you think they held those people here?
I don't know.
You hear a movement behind one of the cells at the far end of the hallway.
Key3's gonna run towards it, not opening the door, but seeing if there's any windows.
How is Key3 here?
Key3's been with us this whole
Mira
time.
is going to run. And
I
see
knew
if
what you
there's
meant.
any doors or window in the door that is making the sound.
So as you go down the hallway, kind of lighting the path, the smell of fresh rain and dampness, a meadow, a kind of a florally first rain type of smell of spring fills your nostrils as you approach one of the cell doors, and you see that there is someone alive in the other door. And as you kind of peek the light out behind the from your casting to peer into the door, you see that there is a woman in tattered clothing. She looks distraught. She's tall, she's slender, and she has shades of yellow hair, and her skin, as you're looking at it, looks to be pink, almost pink and pale. And she kind of raises her arm at the light, and she's like, "Hello?"
Mira's gonna throw the door open and rush in. Are you okay? What happened? Why are you in here?
the bars of the door, it's these iron locks, and the cell door is locked. Does anyone else approach with Mira?
Yeah, I will approach right behind her.
She's just like shaking the door.
Willow will also approach with her.
Sarah, I don't think would have done it.
Sarah did what?
I don't think she would have followed that. I think she's like trying to stand guard at the door. She's like really weary, leery.
Okay. The woman, she's like, I can't get out. I'm too weak.
Do I recognize her as I approach?
No.
Who are you? Like, how did you get in here?
They tricked me. They said they were holding my sister here, and I believed them.
Who's your sister?
Her name is Seraphina.
Mira quite literally is just trying to stop. It's like, Sarah?
Sarah's like, what is it now?
We have to get this door open.
Sarah, come here.
Sarah's just gonna like meander like, I don't think I can open these doors either.
No,
Not
come,
realizing what's there.
come here.
The woman looks over and she goes, Seraphina, is that you?
Oh, baby girl, Eleanor. Well, what did you get yourself into now?
I was trying to find you.
In a vampire den?
They said they had you.
Oh, okay. And she sort of started immediately like looking for a way to get her out. Like, no, just 1 second.
Don't touch the door. It's made of iron.
Thank you. I will not. That explains your condition, actually.
Is anybody really heavy hit with a weapon? Because I'm assuming there's a padlock, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Cal, he walks over to the chains and he says, "Give me a second." And you see him brief. Yeah, what?
I was going to say, she's going to tap his shoulder then, since he's the first one to come up, and cast Blessed.
Okay.
So he can add a d4 and add it to whatever he rolls for attack or saving throw. I don't know if he's going for attack, but...
Yeah, he's attacking the padlock. You said plus a d4?
Yes.
Oh yeah, he definitely gets it. So you see his muscles ripple and veins as he literally breaks open this iron padlock, and the door swings open. And Eleanor, she is very feeble. You can see bite marks all across her body. She is thin. She is pale. She is not looking hot. And she looks and she says, "Are you with that other woman?"
Other woman?
Yeah, the one here who literally I heard annihilating everything outside of here. She ran through here maybe about 20 minutes ago. She said she was going to come back for me.
That's okay. No, we are not with this other woman, actually, and any information about this other woman would be actually great. And she's going to go in to Eleanor and, kind of pick her up and piggyback her, on her back.
Sure. I didn't get a good glimpse of her. It's so dark in here, and my vision has been blurring lately, and it's been hard. She sounded like she was on a mission for something. She said she was going to come back for me as soon as she got some type of amulet.
Sarah's going to stop and then look at Tara and be like, amulet? Huh. And she went that way?
Yeah, she went that way.
And you don't remember anything about her?
I'm sorry. You don't understand. I'm so weak. I just want to sleep.
Are you strong enough to get out, or do you need help?
Well, she's on my back.
Yeah.
I'm putting my little sister on my back. She's not very little.
Yeah, I'll be okay. Do you have any ambrosia, Sarah?
Oh, of course. And she, takes it out of her satchel and hands it to her. Always need it, just in case.
Thank you. And you kind of see a little bit of the color return to her skin as she eats this, and she says, I feel a little better, but I'm growing a headache now. But that woman, we should find her.
Definitely. By chance, did you come here with Mother?
How do you know that Mom's here?
I, just saw her. That's all.
You do realize that you've been gone for 2 summers.
You don't remind me.
It's okay. We can talk about this later. I don't want to stay here too long.
Yeah. All right, you guys lead the way. I'll take up the rear, obviously.
All right, so you guys head back down the opposite end of the hallway, and there's another door. This one looks Art Deco style, and you open it and you come into a circular room. In this room, there is a large ornate coffin, stone coffin, in the center of it, with a large portrait of the Countess behind it. And then you see a woman on the other side of the coffin, who is fiddling around with a chest just below the portrait of the Countess. And then she holds up, like back still, not facing you guys. You see this golden amulet with a pendant at the bottom of it, this chain, and she pulls it out, and then you see her like stuff it into her chest, I guess. And then she turns around, and Jupiter steps forward, and she says, "Ella." And that's where we will end tonight's episode.
I knew it.
Is it the same amulet that Tara had her vision of? I don't know if I recognize it or not. Wouldn't she recognize it?
Too quick to really get to know what that amulet is.
Oh gosh, these episodes are literally never what I expect them to be. And
Same.
Damn.
that's a good thing, but like, holy hell.
You guys always keep me on my toes.
Same to you, dude.
I try. I try really hard. But yeah, wow, what an episode.
Whew. I wrote so many notes. I was not thinking it would be Sarah's sister. Oh my god, that was cool.
No.
As soon as you said it smells like spring rain, I was like, God damn it!
I literally watched your face the entire time. I literally watched your face, Ashley, and you look displeased. One, you're like, I was like, uh-oh.
It's like, how am I gonna play this off?
But yeah, good old Eleanor.
Oh, little Eleanor.
Damn.
She tried.
Yeah, I gotta get her home real fast. It's almost spring.
Yeah.